Hello, and I know you're having a great week because you're watching the Ask Mary Ellen channel on YouTube. And today, like I told you before, I was going to speak about relationships. Would you like to find that perfect relationship? Would you like to have build a better relationship where you're working, or find a business relationship that really works for you? And you don't have to go from one job to another job or so on and so forth. Would you like to have a better relationship with your family or your friends or even your acquaintances? Well, how can you do that? As a mindfulness coach, the most asked question that I receive is, how can I foster a better relationship? And of course, there are tons of relationships or types of relationships. And usually I will break it down into, a business relationship or romantic relationship or friends or whatever. Today I'm going to speak about all of them because there are certain ways that you can reach any relationship when you understand what the relationship is actually about. Number one, any relationship you're in, whether it's business, friends, family, or acquaintances, is always a reflection of you. Yes, it is a mirror for you. So, what you see in the other person, whether it's business, friends, family, or otherwise, is always something about you that you can either bless as a good characteristic, or you can take it back in and say, wow, why am I still seeing this? Why am I still going through the same thing over and over and over again, right? Don't you feel like you're dating the same people, only they have different names and genders and clothes and things like that? Or maybe you're going to the same job? Well, let me tell you something. In a business, let's take it down. Let's go business relationships first. When you are looking for a job, make sure you're applying for a job that you want, that is available, that you're really excited about. You don't want to apply for a job just to be applying for a job. You don't want to waste your time or theirs. Although there might be times when you have to go and earn some money somewhere so you can make ends meet and put food on the table and all that, pay the bills. I understand that. Or you might take a job to learn certain skills to go forward into another job. And first of all, with a job, you want to be as trustworthy as you can. See, your relationship, whether it's business, friends, family, or acquaintances, is all about you respecting yourself. So when you go in for a job, you want to hold your head up high. You want to have your resume ready. You want to prepare yourself ahead of time by maybe looking in the mirror and answering some questions yourself or speaking to yourself. And, if you get turned down, that's okay. Every no leads to a future yes. To remember that. So when you go for a business relationship, and let's say you get a job and you're really excited about it. And oh my gosh, I got this job. I can't wait to start. And then you start the job and it's not what you thought it was going to be. You thought it was going to be this and that and wonderful. And all of a sudden, it dumped all this stuff on you that you didn't expect. And it wasn't in what you had signed up for. Well, number one, you can be honest and communicate to your higher level person. What you never want to do is to gossip about, well, they hired me and now they're dumping this on. You never want to do that, because when you leave that job, you're going to need a recommendation. And if you have gossiped or if you have not done your best work, then you're not going to get a very good recommendation. At least you wouldn't from me. So when you take a business job, you want to do the best job you can. You want to be responsible. You want to communicate effectively. You want to be sure you're listening to what they're asking you to do and you understand their words. And if you don't, ask questions. It's always okay to ask questions. And of course, there are certain jobs people go into and they're belittled or they're harassed or whatever. Then you take that to a higher person and you report it, or you first talk to the person who's doing that. You handle it as effectively as possible with as much love as possible. Because when you're in a job and you're sitting there and you're saying to your thoughts going through your mind are, I can't stand this job. I can't stand it. Just all these bad thoughts about you can't stand. And then you wonder why your feet hurt or your back hurts. Well, your body is interpreting your thoughts and they're reacting in your body physically. Okay, in a friend relationship, a friend relationship builds trust over time. And that is on people's behavior. Do they show up on time or do they let you down? Do they say they're going to do one thing and they don't do another? Well, if that's the kind of friend they are, why do you want them as your friend? I would think you'd think higher of yourself than that. And sometimes, it's a friend we've had for a long time, so you give them a little bit of leeway, which is fine. But, you always want to look at yourself first and see, what do you need to learn? Maybe you have one friend that lets you down, and then you get into another friend relationship and they let you down. It's not about them letting you down, okay? It's all about, why are you picking those people to be friends with? And I know, because I've been there time and time and time again. So now I'm pretty careful. Okay, your family. Your family is going to be the place where you probably have the most issues come up. Usually I receive most of my clients come back to me during Thanksgiving and Christmas, because what happens? Right, families get together. And when families get together, then the issues come up. So when you're at a family setting, when you love yourself, when you trust yourself, when you know you've done the best you can always come from love, that higher vibration, and allow whatever family argument to go just pass you by. Just let it go, because you're not going to be able to change them. The only person you can change is you. Okay, now let's look at acquaintances. Acquaintances are people you might run into all the time. When I go into Starbucks, I usually run into the same baristas. And they go, hey, Mary Ellen, how you doing? And I'll go, hi, how are you? And you feel, I try to remember what they said to me last time, so I can say, well, how is that going for you? One lady went on a trip, and I said, wow, how was that trip? And, you want to remember, you want to make them as important as they are to you. Number one, you'll get better service, and it's just a healthy practice to remember. So when fostering effective relationships, you want to practice effective communication. And if you want to know more about communication, I'm going to be speaking about communication on Monday. So make sure you subscribe to the Ask Mary Ellen channel and listen to what I have to say about communication. It's very important. You also want to have active listening skills. What do they say to you? Or are you interrupting them? Are you over talking them? What is going on? Most people, when they communicate, really don't listen. They're thinking about what they're going to say next to prove their point. So how are you practicing active listening skills? And I'll talk about this more on Monday. You want to practice empathy. You want to show appreciation and gratitude for any relationship you have. You want to support others, and you want to invest time in building a meaningful connection with any relationship you have. Open dialogue. Healthy relationships are essential for personal growth and happiness. And especially your romantic relationships, your personal relationships, your significant other that you live with. Yes, you're going to have issues there, because that is how the universe or God shows you what you still need to work on in yourself. Because healthy relationships are actually only all about you, whether it's business, friends, family, or acquaintances. So go forward today. Have some fun this weekend. Enjoy your day. Look at all those relationships you have. Do you build trust? Do you have effective communication? Are you responsible for what you say and what you do? And look at yourself first. Always look at yourself first because it's never about the other person. I'll be back on Monday, so subscribe to the Ask Mary Ellen channel because I'll be speaking about effective communication. Until Monday, have some fun and enjoy life. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate all of you. Or go to askmaryellen.com. Whoop, forgot to say that. Bye-bye.